All right, welcome back, my dear student. In this lecture here, we are going to be improving our registration system a lot more. Right now, the way we have it is this way. If somebody registers right now with the same name as a user we already have in the database, they will be inserted in the database. So, for example, right now we have a username Rico, Suave, and Sana, whatever. So let's actually create another Rico user real quick, and so that you know that this works, I'll show you. Actually, let's just make a Rico. There we go. Register. And now it says the registration has been submitted. All right. It doesn't say that it was good, but it says it was submitted. As you can see here, we are able to have the same username in the database, which that's something that we don't want. Now we could, however, create a column here that only accepts a unique ID or only accepts a unique value. We could do that, but we could actually write this in our PHP code. So let's try it and write this in our PHP code and see how we can build a functionality that will allow us to check for duplicates. All right. So now we have this function here, is admin. That's really cool, but this function is going to be a lot cooler than the is admin. All right. So let's actually start doing this. So we're just gonna name it, username exists, and of course it's gonna take a username. All right, and let's just create a default value for it. Actually, we don't need a default value for it, and let's just this one shouldn't have a default value either. Let's just put it like this. I wanted just to show you that we could do that, but that's fine. All right, so how can we start this? First of all, we need our database connection, right? Then we need to create a query. So let's hold our query in this variable like we usually do, and let's just say I want to select the username from users, where our username, and very similar to this, as a matter of fact, we can copy this if we want to, just to make it easier on us. There we go. And instead of doing all this, what we could do is instead of doing all this that we're doing here, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna say I want this function, my SQLi num rows, to let me know how many rows of this. If we are able to find something like this function here will give us the rows in our table, how many rows we found. So we're gonna pass in the result, and if the row in the database is bigger than 0, we know we found something, right? So we're just gonna say return true. Else we know that we didn't find anything, and we're gonna return false. Let's just put return false here. There we go. All right, cool. So now this function is done. Actually, we need to change this for username. Select username from users. All right, this seems about right. All right. So it's time for us to test this before we go ahead and do this. Right now we have this functionality in registration.php. Let's take this out of here, and we have basically we just have this little check here, but we're not really doing anything big here. All right, let's see if we can, let's do it up here. We're using a message, so we're gonna use this message variable to display something. I just want to do it like this just to show you that it is working, or that it should work. So I'm just gonna say if, and we're gonna use the name of the function user exists, and we're gonna pass in the username. then we want to display something or we want to set a message. I'm gonna set this message to like this: user exists. All right. Let's try this real quick. If I say Rico and I'm trying to register here, it says fields cannot be empty. All right. That's because we have other they all have to pass for this to say that message. All right, that's fine. So I'm gonna say Rico whatever here and whatever register. This contains should not contain a symbol. His user exists, as you can see here. You see that? So it was able to find the user. Now if we tried another user, for example, I don't know, www and www.gmail, and we try this user. Well, first of all, it has an undefined message because we took that out, but I want to show you that it does work. Refresh, and as you can see here, we were able to register that user because it's not a duplicate. All right. So in the next lecture, we're gonna finish this up, and we're gonna fix this up a little bit, a lot more, and we're gonna make it work with all the inputs here. We're gonna build a pretty nice registration system. We want to also check for email just to see if the email exists. So we're also gonna do that in the next lectures. All right, guys. So this should give you a pretty good idea how to do the next one for the email. All right. So if you want to go ahead and do that for the email, you're welcome to do that. We're gonna do that in the next lecture, anyways. All right. We're gonna finish some of the modifications here in registration.php, and we are also going to create that other new function for email. All right. See you in the next lecture.